Hi, and welcome back to IWS Motor Coaches. I'd like to take a moment and tell you about our IWS Sportsman motor coach. This coach is very near and dear to me as I worked with Renegade from start to finish to design the exact coach that I wanted for me and my family. I'm an avid jet boater, so I'm always pulling my 24-foot jet boat into remote areas, and none of the motorhomes ever seem to have enough towing capacity, enough horsepower, or enough brakes. They really lack stability that I was looking for to pull an 8,000-pound jet boat, so I was really stuck. So I sat down and worked with Renegade to design what I felt was the ultimate motorhome for sportsmen. And this is the result of the efforts. This coach is 29 foot long. Our goal was to not make it any longer than a 4-door pickup with dual wheels with a big overshot camper. This coach came out to 29 foot long. Most large pickups with big campers are between 24 and 25 foot long, so we really came close to achieving the goals on that. The reason we went with a little bit longer length that you'll see on the interior video is that we put the mudroom on the back. Some notables about this coach that you won't find anywhere else. This coach has a 300 horsepower Cummins engine, Allison automatic, but some of the features you just won't find on another motorhome is that this thing has a locking rear differential. So if one wheel spins and you're on a boat ramp, you can just flip the lever on the dash and it'll actuates the rear differential interlock, which will lock both wheels together. It's almost like having 4-wheel drive. All of our years of experiencing building tow trucks is this has dual parking brakes on it, which is something I don't think there's an RV in the world that has that feature. What we were able to do is we know the code to order from Freightliner, and it has a parking brake on the rear axle and the front axle. So when this coach is on a really steep embankment, you know it's not going to go anywhere. And that's just one of the many features we incorporated in building this ultimate sportsman rig. Now as we move around, we're going to take a little bit of time and show you some of the other features of this coach. Here we're going to open up all the side compartments so you can see what's going on in here. The very first bay houses the DEF tank, the diesel exhaust fluid, and you can also see the hydraulic camper jack. This jack on this coach is hydraulic down and hydraulic powered up. So if you're off-road somewhere and you push the jack down and it happens to break through the soil and get into the mud, you have hydraulic power to lift it back up. There's also an air fitting right there you can see, so you can hook up an air hose if you want to change a tire or inflate a tire or blow up a raft. The next bay over has a large inverter. We put a big enough inverter in here that you can run most of the television and satellite all night without having to fire up the generator. But if you want to use the generator, we went complete overkill. This coach, I wanted to never ever run out of power, and I wanted to have the ability to run a welder or any other things that a guy might need outside of the coach. So we installed the Cummins Awning 8000 kW quiet diesel. This is the same size generator you would find on most 40-foot coaches. Again, everything about this coach was overkill. Here, as you can get back into the black water tank area, we have a heater in this compartment so that you can run it in frigid weather. It has 75-gallon black tank, 75-gallon gray tank, and then it has a 75-gallon freshwater tank, and we'll talk more when we get over there. Here's the rear spigot, the cable connection. Just a fantastic coach with incredible amounts of amenities packed into a small package. Now over here on the driver's side, I want to talk to you about the slide outs. On this coach, we installed 18-inch slide outs as opposed to the 36-inch slide out. One of the reasons we did this is me and my wife, when we travel and we feel most people are like us, we started using our motorhome as a pickup. So we like to be able to go to Walmart or go to a sporting event or a sports show and to be able to park in the parking lot and be able to run the slides out without worrying about hitting the vehicle next to you. So by going with the shorter 18-inch slides on each side as opposed to one big large slide, we can almost always find a spot to push the slides out without hitting anybody. Here's the input where you put your electrical wiring in if you're using shore power. Also notice there's large exterior lights on the outside to help illuminate. This is where Renegade really starts to separate itself from the rest of the pack. You just won't find a motorhome out there that has a 20,000-pound trailer hitch. This hitch is just incredible. You can pull just about anything with it. It has a 2,000-pound tongue rating. Another thing Renegade does is they're very sensible in their lighting. These lights you can get from any Napa Auto Parts store. You don't have to go through a long quest to find lights for your coach if they go out. Here's the heavy-duty ladder. This ladder was designed for 200 and 300 pound guys to be able to climb up on top of the roof. You can sit up on the roof and watch a sporting event, do your photography, whatever you want. Here you'll see the exterior work lights. We put 2 large exterior work lights on each side of the coach so you can illuminate your work area or your hunting camp, whatever you want. We also installed a rear vision camera on this coach. Now as we move around to the passenger side, you start to see really how good looking this coach is. It's just a real nice compact footprint, and I think the look is just awesome. If you don't want all white, we can add a graphics package here at IWS for you. We have designers on staff, so it's no problem. We wanted to put nice tinted windows in it so the sun didn't bother you. We really tried to think of everything. Now as we move along, here's the freshwater tank. Now this tank, due to space restrictions, is only a 75-gallon freshwater tank. But what we did is we put an easy fill spout on it. So remember, this is a 75-gallon tank. Your black and gray are each 75 gallons. So if you're out in the field, you can easily pour another 75 gallons into this tank and still have gray water and black water storage. Behind the tank is the winterizing option on this coach, so it makes it real easy to winterize. The next bay forward is all about storage. Then as we get into the farthest forward bay, this is where we house all the electrical components, and they're very easily accessible, so if you ever have to do any electrical work, they're right there. Also notice there's alley lights, marker lights, or clear work lights behind the fender there to help you back up. Here's a nice shot of the porch awning coming out. It's fully automatic with wind sensor on it. As I mentioned on the other side, you notice there's an awning over the top of the slide, and this is really important to have. You won't find this on cheaper coaches. And the reason it's so important is it keeps rain and leaves and snow off of the top of your slide. If you didn't have that, when you retracted the slide, you'd be pulling all that debris inside of the coach with you. Again, it's just little things that separate the Renegade from most other coaches. Now as we get to the rear door, I want you to notice the step. And it may not seem like a big deal, but the steps on the Renegade were designed to hold 200 and 300 pound men. So the remote step will hold up to years and years of use. Here's a sneak peek of our mudroom. This is what Renegade calls their boot step. It's great. You can take your shoes off and kick them underneath the steps when you go into the coach. And if you want to know more about this mudroom, you'll have to watch the interior video. Thanks for taking the time to watch our IWS Sportsman. If you'd like to know more about this coach, stop by and give it a test drive.